Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm filming my February wrap up. Again, this is the second time I'm filming it because the last time I filmed it, which took like an hour by the way, just saying, had broken sound and I was not happy about it, so I'm refilming it, which I never usually do, but I really do want to get this video up, so you should be grateful for my efforts here. Hopefully the second time since I'm filming and talking about all these books will be more smoother than, because I was really like all over the place. Also, I added like over half that video. I don't want to think about it, but yeah. I did Blackathon in February, if you didn't know, and I also did Polarthon. So we're gonna talk about all the books I read. I ended up reading 28 books for some reason. I don't know why this keeps happening, it just does. And 8,963 pages, so that's almost 9,000 pages in a month. I don't know. And that's just like even not count my audiobook pages, because I don't count those pages in, you know. First, I will show you all the books I read for Gotathingforseason, and if you were waiting for Gotathing for spring, it's not coming because I am revamping it, or trying to, for Gotathing for summer. So there's no Gotathing for spring this year, I am sorry. Hopefully I will make a better version of it for the summer season. I'm trying to find the Gotathing for season books, but it was very difficult for me. So I read Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, The Prayer of Gods by Nikki Drayden, A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Rosanna A. Brown, and Akata Witch by Neddy Okafor, which I will talk a bit about anyway because I read the rest of this series. All these I talked about in my Gotathingforseason wrap up, so you can check that out on my channel if you want to hear the thoughts about these. And now we only have 24 books left, so that's very I'm happy about that. That's all I got to say. Then we can leave. So let's just go through the books I read for the different challenges for my team on Blackathon. I did sci-fi and fantasy, of course, but I also did read all the group books for all the teams, so I did get to read a bunch of different genres as well, so I'm very happy about that. And the first challenge for my team was to read a book that features duality of loyalty and betrayal. And I forgot that one book in the bookshelf because I had to take all the books out again after taking them in again because I already filmed this video, and now I need to go and get it. So for that I read Court of Lions by Somaya Dodd. This one is a sequel to Mirage, and it's a YA sci-fi duology. It follows Amani, who is kidnapped to be the princess double. They look completely similar, and she's forced to do this because she doesn't have a choice in the matter. And in the second book we just follow, you know, everything that happened in the end of the first one, which was a bit crazy, let's be real. And while I did enjoy this a lot more than I thought I would, especially like the romance, which I didn't like at all in the first book, but I liked a lot here, I just felt like the first 50 pages contradicted really fast what happened in the first one. We ended on this like big, wow, oh my god, how is this gonna affect it for next book? And then they just solved it in like 4 seconds, and I was like, okay, so we just ended on that big thing for nothing, kinda. But I did end up enjoying how the story wrapped up, and just how their relationship developed and how all the characters developed. And yeah, it was an enjoyable book, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then next book was to read a book with trans rap in it. Did I forget that book too? Pretty sure I just saw it. Now it's here. And for that I read Pet by Akata and Messi, and this one is kind of set in an utopia world where all crime and like bad things are gone, and then our main character bleeds on her mother's painting, and this creature comes out that tells her that there is a monster in her best friend's house and need to go hunting for this monster. And the main character, which I now can't remember the name of, Jam, like, are you sure about this? Because I'm pretty sure that there's no evil guys out there, and you know, she needs to confront her, you know, beliefs, that's the word I want to say, and also, you know, save her best friend. And it's just very impactful, really big book considering it's like 200 pages. I really was engaged in the story, in the world, in the characters, and everything was just really good about it. I also like, it went really dark, and I was like, oh, we are really going there. But overall, just enjoyed it immensely. I don't know what else to say, so yay. But I already knew it was gonna be good because I created an essay. So yeah, I gave it like 4.5 out of 5 stars. And the next challenge was to read a book between a certain amount of pages. I think it was like 312 and 372 or something. And for that I read Wings of Ebony by GL, and this one is the first one in this. I know it's a sequel, but I don't know if it's gonna be like a trilogy or if it's a duology, I don't know. But this one is set in our world and also a magical world. So our main character finds out that she has magic, and she's whisked away to this island where it's the only place they allow to use this magic. And she's like, does not want to be there because her mother literally just died when she's whisked away. Instead of following the story when she was at this island and learning about her powers and stuff, we are set 1 year later when she comes back to our world, having fought a lot and hard for it, to sneak back to go to her sister, follow her, trying to, you know, going back into her world, being with her for her sister, and also being forced to be on a magical island. She also used to live in the slums in poverty and like how to deal with, you know, racism, privilege, poverty and all that, and then on this island everything's like very prestige and nice and white, and she is just like, I am not fitting in here. So she has to jingle between these worlds, and I could definitely see what the author was trying to do, to try to merge these worlds and have them reflect on each other about, you know, the privilege and also the different issues that the different worlds had, and also taking some of the issues into the other world again in a way. And I did see that, and I did enjoy the book. I thought it was very interesting with this island and the secrets the island revealed. I was like, oh my god. I liked the characters and stuff, but I just felt like it went really fast. It was just like one time the character was like, I'm never doing this again, and then literally 2 pages later the character did it again. So I just felt like we needed more time to dwell on things and not just jump back and forth between, like, not just the words literally, but just like have a chance to take in our characters' decisions before moving and jumping again. So I just had a bit trouble with like that, and also the writing was not for me because they kept like repeating this one phrase over and over, and I was like, can we stop this? Because it was literally repeated like 50 times, and I was just like, I get it. But yeah, it sounded a bit negative there in the end, but like I did enjoy the book overall. Also, yeah, I forgot to say that it had a really rushed ending, and there's like a theme here with a lot of these books I read where the ending was just like so rushed. And I don't know if it's just because I know this really well because they kept happening, or is that just a thing in books and I just haven't noticed until now. But there was just so many books I read now where the ending was just like, woof, we are done. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, gonna mention that again a few times. But yeah, I didn't hate it or anything. I just gave it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. So it's not like horrible by any means. It's just I had some issues with it. But a book doesn't need to be perfect to be enjoyable, you know? So that was all the challenges for Team Sci-Fi Fantasy. And then there's the group book, which was Escaping Exodus by Nick and Jaden. And this is set in the future where humanity has left Earth and they live inside these beasts that like they really take advantage of to use the resources inside the beasts. Like they literally eat and carve, yeah, like really huge space monster beast things. And we follow the princess of like one of the ships because all the ships are in different beasts that don't really communicate together anymore that much. And we follow like the princess of our ship, and then also a beast worker, which is like the lowest of the low in the society. They are also in love, but they are not allowed to be together, so that's a bit sad. We just follow them trying to find out more about the beast secrets and stuff, really. It's really weird. It's very interesting, but really weird. It's like tentacles there that I don't know where it came from, and that's all kind of I can say about that. But if you read it, you know. And I was just like, didn't expect this, but it's there. This also had like a bit of a rush ending, just saying. I'm a bit not sure what happened there. It was a bit crazy. And it also says on the back that this is a standalone, which is a lie because there is a sequel, and I do really want to read that. I felt lied to. That's all I got to say. But yeah, the characters overall are really interesting. Everything was interesting. It's very different and special, and I really liked it. So 4 out of 5 stars for that. And then we can just go through my Polarthon books, which I enjoyed some of, but not all. Will I remember the challenges in my head? I was a Arctic animal. First challenge, which was Cozy Vibes, I believe. And for that, I read Ice Whispers by Helenka Shevra, sorry. And this one was also apparently the middle grade monthly book, but I didn't know, but I just read it because it looked cozy. And they basically follow a main character who is sent home after being away from home for many years because her mother dies, and she finds out like that her mother was connected to this spirit world, which is set 40,000 years in the past, where she also have a sister, and her father's also got missing in there, and we are like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And overall, when I read it, I did really enjoy myself. I think like I thought it was really fast-paced, cute little middle grade. We had this icy world and its sisters, but later thinking about it, I'm just like, did I really like it though? Like, it was a bit like of a whiplash back and forth a lot with like the characters' motivations. It wasn't like amazing, but it was a bit cute, and I had some cute illustrations. So like overall, like I did enjoy more, I think, when I was reading it, but thinking back on it, it's not like anything special. But yeah, it had cute illustrations. And yeah, I don't really know when I'm rating it. 3 stars maybe. So it was okay. I don't even know. I then read for a book with a snowy cover, A Shiver of Snow and Sky by Lisa Ludek, and this one is set in this village where if red lights appear in the sky, then there is this plague coming that kills a lot of people in the village. And then at the same time, they also get all enemies coming to attack them, which is why they move like in like these really small villages far away from everything in the first place, but now they're coming back to attack them. Our main character goes on this quest to the top of the mountain to talk to the goddess, to talk to her how we're gonna stop our enemies, how we're gonna stop this plague. And it's very wintry and cold. Her family also hates her because her mother died when she was giving birth to her, and then they blame her, and I'm just like, please. Anyways, it's very snowy. It's wintry. I really liked it when I was reading it. It's fast-paced, really cute YA fantasy. But I would be honest, I don't remember really how they solved anything in the end. But I just remember the main character be like, hey, and then suddenly everything was okay. So did I miss something? Do my brain stop reading when I'm at the end? I think it's something about the end where it's being like, you read really fast because you're like, oh my god, I need to know what happens. And then you forget, because I kind of forgotten how things were solved. But there's definitely more questions to be answered, so there's a sequel, and I am excited to read that. So yeah, I think I give like 3.5 out of 5 stars. So it was good. It was okay, I think. This is going much better than it did the first time filming this, so maybe it was worth filming at the end, just saying. So for the next challenge, it was to read a book with an animal companion, if I remember correctly. And after that, I read Escape from Aurora by Jamie Liller, which is the second book in the Frosthouse series. And must I say, it was so good, so enjoyable, my favorite for the whole Polarthon, because looking back at now at all the books I read for Polarthon, they were all a bit like meh for me. Actually, I was known with Sky was fun, but like this was adorable. Loved it. So this is set in a world where everything is icy and frosty, and everyone lives in like these different, what's it called? Not camp. These different dwellers, like these different villages, but it's not villages, it's kind of like they're locked in because they can't go outside because there's monsters out there. And then we have pathfinders that go out on these skiffs that drives in the snow to like make paths so that it's safer for people to move around. I'm not even sure actually. And our main character Ash is a song weaver, and people don't like them because like while they can sing and have powers for singing, people believe that the Levitans, who are the monsters, can control them. In the first book, Ash went out after his parents was pathfinders but never came home, and he wants to find them. We go out on that adventure. I'll be honest, the first book kind of let me down a bit because I think I had a bit of high expectations for it. While I did enjoy it and thought it was cute, I liked it so much more because I think I like knew more what I was getting into, which is why sequels are so much fun. And it was just so cute and fun and a bit sad, and the ending I did not see coming. I don't understand how I didn't see coming, but I was just like, oh my god. So that was very fun and just very enjoyable. 4 stars, 4 really strong stars. And it was just so fun. I keep saying the same word. I am really sorry. Like the characters, the found family trope, the magic, the secrets being revealed. It's just such a ride. And I really want to read the third book, but we will see when that is. And then to read a book with a Nordic setting. I think I read this for that. It's A Bird and a Nightingale by Catherine Arden. And this one I listened to the audiobook on because I needed an audiobook throughout the week. And I didn't like it. I was very disappointed in it. I feel like a lot of people love this series, but for me it was not it. I was just miserable the whole time. So this one is just set in really cold Russia. We follow this family that lives there, and there's like spirits and stuff going around, and it's cold. And I don't really know much more to describe this book because nothing happens. It's a 450 page long book, and it felt like it was a 100-page book. It should have taken place in 100 pages, but it was 450 pages instead. And it's just vibes and atmosphere. And I think that some books can survive on that alone, and some books I can vibe with that. But this was just not the vibes for me. I just was bored and I didn't care, and I just wanted it to be over, and it gave me nothing. This gave me nothing. It went exactly where you think it would go, considering the fact that nothing happened. It was just like this girl was born, and it was just like, oh, she's gonna be like this, she's so special, and we were like, yay. I don't even know how to describe it. I will for some reasons probably read the sequels at some point, but not it. Just saying, just not it. Boring. Nothing happened for me. Probably like 2 stars. But I think I was nice and rounded it up to 3. But yeah. I then read for just a Polar Fantasy and Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. This one was also boring. But at least stuff happened in it. But I didn't really like this one either. So we follow this one character that moves to the north to marry this dude, and then they need to survive there in the court because people try to kill them and stuff, and it's not safe there. And we just see them survive. The only character I liked in this book was the main character's aunt. She was amazing. What was her name? Rosalind? Something. I don't even know. But she's just trying to survive. It was slow. It was huge. for no reason at all. Again, nothing happened. No, again, a bit of stuff happened. There was like kinda sort of some sort of plot line there. I just didn't like the setting. I didn't like the main character. I didn't like the dude she's supposed to like. Not it for me. Probably like 2 stars as well, but I think again I was too nice and rounded up to 3. And that was it for Polarthon. I think like overall it was an okay week. Let's continue with Blackathon. Oh, in theory, I was done with the challenges, and now it's just for the other books I read, which I of course have forgotten in my shelf, so I need to go and get them. For the bus wordathon challenge, which had to have a pronoun in the title, I read Things We Couldn't Say by J. Coles, and this is the second book by this author, and it basically follow Jayo, I don't know how to say his name, that just found out kind of that he's bisexual, which is kind of nice, and then his mother wants to come back in his life that left him when he was a kid, which is not that nice. She like disrupts his whole daily life, and he doesn't know if he wants her back, and it's like really messing it up, you know. She did leave him, and then there's also this new dude at school that starts there, who was also bisexual. So do they get a thing? Probably. It's a white contemporary, so you could probably imagine they do. But yeah, I was really invested to know and get to know a main character and just see his inner turmoils and journey. Sounds like I like to see him suffer, but I guess I did because, you know, it's nice to read about characters figuring stuff out because then you feel more in tune with your life. Either way, I like had a ride with this because I really liked the beginning of the book, and then the middle was like I lost me a bit and it went like a bit down for me, but then the end really picked up and I really want to see how the book ended. What bothered me a lot was all the pop culture references. There was a lot, like like so many that I noticed it, and I usually just like, if it's like once or twice, I don't really think about it, but here was just like all the conversations was just so much pop culture. Oh my god, literally me opening on this page though. They're in a album store. Well, I guess you can expect them talking about something that is there, but they literally mentioned Taylor Swift and BTS in like one page just here. Literally just me opening a random page, and then further down also Paramore and just more stuff thing. But yeah, we just see our main character jiggling, having his mother back, trying to maybe like this dude, have a really strict father, and also, you know, being black and not rich in this world. And yeah, I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read a group book for Team Literary Fiction Contemporary, which was Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Janie Allen. It basically for this black woman that finds out that she has this, I don't know if you can call it a disease, but this thing where her eggs dies, and she needs to either like get a child ASAP within the 6 months or freeze her eggs. This is disrupting everything she's planned. She has this boyfriend, but they're not like ready to have a child yet. She's soon to get maybe a promotion at work. She's having all these things planned, and this is just like ruining her whole, you know, everything she's planned for herself. So should we just see her deal with this, and also like her friends have her own struggles? Should we see her talk to them, and just her life in general? You know, it's a literary fiction. It was very invested, very interesting, very touching, but also, you know, sad. Seeing her being a young black woman, seeing her be in America, you know, it's a lot. And just many good parts of the story, really, I was gonna say heartfelt. It also has a sequel, and I'm really curious to see how that will be. And I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Yay! And I also realized I forgot to talk about in the beginning of the video The Perfect Ruin, which is by Shonora Williams, which is the group book for Team Thriller. I actually read it like almost all at the beginning of the month. I just forgot to say it in the beginning. I'm sorry. But yeah, this one is a thriller. It follows Ivy that finds out who ruined her life many years ago. We don't really know how this woman ruined her life, but she finds out and decides to infiltrate her life to take revenge and like take her down from the inside. And we just see Ivy go into this like very privileged and rich world of this other really successful black woman, and we just see her trying to take her down through this like revenge plan. It's just so crazy, and it was so fun and good. I was so invested. Like, I wanted to read the book the whole time I was reading it because it was so much fun, and I just couldn't stop reading it because it was just so intriguing, and I want to know what happened the whole time through it. And you know, it had some plot and twists and turns, and I really liked it. Like almost 5 stars, 4.5 out of 5, because it was just so entertaining and good. And I feel like I haven't had this fun with the book in like a little short while. like a different kind of fun like in the other books I read. So that was really fun, and I really recommend that. Solid group books, you know. And then I read Daughters of Nair by Remy Cameron, which I better read with my friend Justine. There's a lot of wind outside, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's crazy, like all the leaves are flying right now in front of my face. But yeah, this one is the first book in this, I don't know if it's a series, but like it's at least a sequel. And it basically is set in this world where the dude that rules the lands has out that these twins would take him down, and then he like bans twins in all the lands. And then we follow a pair of twins. I don't know they're twins because they look the same, but like they grew up different places. And then we just see their journeys to, you know, how they come about to do the things maybe the king is feared that will happen and other stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but it had a very interesting world. Definitely very slow pace. Like, we read 9 chapters a day, me and my friend, and I felt just like when I was gonna describe what happened in those 9 chapters, I felt like not a lot that happened, at least in certain point of views. I think the story could have moved a bit faster, but at the same time it made you be able to soak into the world and the characters. And since that was so interesting and fun, I didn't like mind the slowness, but you definitely noticed it. And then the end happened, which was so fast. You build up this thing from so many hundreds of pages, and then the end just came, and then it was over, and I was like, hello? Excuse you? So I don't know if it's because the author wanted to bring things into the sequel, but I was just sitting there like, hello? I did end up enjoying it, but like that did drag it down a bit. So I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars, 3.75, and I did like it. And I really want to read the sequel. And also like the end was unexpected. So I'm curious to see what the sequel would be about. I then read Kingdom of Gods, which was chosen now to be like a sequel series I want to finish this year. And I did, and I'm very happy. By Anka Jemison. Of course, this is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance trilogy, which is like a god series where in the first book our main character goes to like the center of rule for the 100,000 kingdoms, where the gods live and are controlled by humans at that time, and has been controlled for a long time. And then to just like to survive in this court, etc. This one follows a different thing because the second book follows different characters, and this one does as well, even though all those characters are introduced in the first book. Very interesting. I love this world. I love these characters. I love how this story is written. Just so good. Cannot say how much I love it. Like, so good. Like, of course I knew I was gonna enjoy it because of Anka Jemison, but I just didn't know how engaged and how invested I would be in this story and these characters and wanting everything to be okay. And just how eventually like the end happened made me like tear up. It was so beautiful, and I just recommend this series so much. I really want to reread them because I just feel like I want to experience them all 3 of them again because they're so good. And just like I think there's parts of the story you can always re-experience as well. And just recommend them so much. Like 5th season is also amazing, and I love this series as well so much. I could say more, but I'm gonna leave it at that. For the series I binge read this month, last month, which I didn't really binge read. I did take a break between reading the first book and the rest, so I read Akata Warrior and Akata Woman. Yeah, this whole series is amazing. It follows Sunny, who is an albino and moved from America to Nigeria when she was like 9 years old, and she finds out that she has magical abilities and is part of this leopard society that like is a whole society of magicians, basically, not just magicians, witches. I don't know, is that a word? She needs to like juggle her normal daily life with, you know, this magical life, and she also has classes with 3 other people, which becomes her best friends, and it's just so good. Just experience also there's like the mythology in the world and just like different challenges she has to meet as a young magician trying to learn her powers, and just it was so good. Just the setting, the characters, the writing, the world, just I had the greatest time with them. And again, I could say many more things, but like what more is it to say than saying I had the greatest time? So yeah, really strong 4 out of 5 stars for both of these. Oh my god! You didn't see that, did you? Yeah, dang, you did. I then read Rise of the Sun by Leah Johnson, which I picked out a TBR card for, which was a trope you haven't read before. Well, this had a trope of a musical festival. I feel like I haven't read that before. I'll read a lot. There's not a lot of tropes I haven't read, like, I feel, at least. So I just, like, went for something that could potentially work. And I didn't really enjoy this. I love You Should See Me on the Crown by the same author. Love that. This one was just, like, meh. Didn't really vibe with me at all. Just like these 2 characters, they meet, they need to play together, and then they like each other, or do they? That's the whole book. It gave me nothing, I think. So I gave it like, I don't even know what I gave it. 3 stars, 2.5. I wish I could say more, but honestly, that's all I got to say. I then read How to Be Remy Cameron by Julian Winters, and this one is for the card Love is Love, a central LGBTQ plus romance. And I really like this one actually. So it follows Remy, who is gay, black, and adopted, and you know, also being adopted from a white family, I could see some of myself in that, so that was a bit fun. But also he needs to write this essay about who he really is, and he just feels like these labels controls him, or is him, or are they him, and he has trouble with this. But then eventually does he figure out that he's all these labels, or is he more just his life, and then meeting a dude. Also I think just transfer there. Yeah, I think so. I don't actually remember. I just found it because it was like that in the other book too. And I'm really liking it. Definitely a voice I enjoyed, and the writing and everything. And oh, the covers sound like cute and summery. But yeah, 4 to 5 stars. Then failed because I was going to start the group book 14 romance, and then I started Tether by Jane Eyre Harrow, while Sweetest Remedy was a group book, but I did read that as well. Started this by accident and didn't notice it was not a group book. But yeah, this one basically follows this young Nigerian Canadian woman, and yes, I can't remember any names, and she has one night stand with this white dude, and then she gets pregnant, and the mother has always wanted her to date a Nigerian man, and that she promised her father before he died that she would, and this promise had been hanging over her whole life, so she has a really hard time choosing this white man when she promised her father she would not be with a white man. And it's this whole thing, feeling like she's choosing between her culture and her happiness, and that feeling she has to choose a Nigerian man to make sure that she keeps her culture in her life. And it was like a very interesting, you know, choice, and thinking that like one is the other, and just like her family and, you know, different things. While I think those inner turmoils and things was very interesting, I also think the romance was just like, okay, I didn't really get why the characters liked each other. They just like kind of liked each other from the get-go, and I was like, okay. I kind of like skipped in time a bit, where like I felt like we could have developed the relationships more, but overall like I did like the themes of the book and how it was written, and I was interested to see how it would go in the end. So yeah, I liked the book overall. The baby name though, hate it. Hate every time they do that. If you read a book, you know what I mean. That's all I got to say. Next book was King of the Rising by Casey Calendar, which I read for the TBR card Nalo Hopkinson, literature by Korean author. And this one is the final book in the Queen of the Rising duology. Not Queen of the Rising, Queen of the Conquered it's called. We're set on these different islands where the black people are enslaved. And we follow this one woman who is black, but she's like part of the nobility because her mother managed to get into the nobility. She wants to free them, and she feels like she's one of them, but she's also part of nobility because she was never one of the slaves. It's just like a whole thing. And then in this book we follow the aftermath of what happened in the first book, and I would say like I don't know exactly how I feel about this, because like the ending and like how everything evolved made the whole story feel a bit pointless, and I'm just sitting here like in the end like, what was the point of everything? Why did I read this in a way? But I did enjoy it, like parts of it, but also like it was just a lot of back and forth, like, oh, let's go to this island, let's go to this island. But yeah, I just don't know. It was just like not my favorite, I guess. I did enjoy why I was reading it. That was my point. Like, I didn't hate it when I was reading it, but just thinking back on it, I'm like, meh. But yeah, so not horrible, but like 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read Exile by Shannon Messenger, which is obviously not by a black author, but is for the Keep Along, which I'm co-hosting. And this one is the second book in this series, and it follows Sophie, who finds out she's an elf and has to join the elf society. Is that even a word? I don't even know. And here we just follow up the things that happened in the first book, and I did enjoy this much more than the first one, because the first one starts off very turmoily, and I did not enjoy myself for the first 200 pages of that. But here everything just felt much calmer, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I have the live show on my channel, so you can check that out, and I will leave a link down below for more thoughts, but I'm gonna leave it at that. And then I read for another TBR card, The Next Level, and I used to read a sequel, and for that I read had Redemptor, Bajordan, Ifueko, which is the sequel to Ray Bearer, which follow our main character, which is told by her mother that she needs to go and kill the king's son, and then to get close to the king, she needs to answer kind of this, like, I was kind of say addition, just like a lot of kids want to be part of the king's council because they're kind of like the same age, and he picks out this council, but to be part of it, you have to love him so he can give you the ray that connects you and you can hear his thoughts. And then to get close to him, she needs to be part of a council, but that means she will love him, but she also needs to kill him because her mother tells her to. And it's just this whole thing, and there's so many more things going on in the world as well, like so many things you find out, and you're like, holy shit. And I loved it so much. I love the first book. I really enjoyed this one as well. Like, I would say I love this too. I kind of want to reread them because I need to know more what happened. In the end, I was also just like, what's going on right now? How did we even solve stuff? And I don't know, as I said, it keeps happening to me. Just how the world is constructed, and how the author wrote it. I just love it so much. I just feel so cool and original. I just love the concept of this council and how like every time you get a new council member, the king gets protected by one more way to die. It's just very interesting, and I just enjoy it so much, and I enjoyed the series a lot, and I'm very excited for the adaptation. I think it will be really cool. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Basically almost 5 stars. And then I read The Sweetest Remedy, which follows this young woman that had a father in Nigeria that never really was in her life, and then he dies and she's invited to his funeral. She goes over there and she meets her family in Nigeria for the first time, her siblings and, you know, other people in the family that she's never met before. And she's just less of a romance book than anything, than just finding your family and feeling a part of a family that you never had. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really nice to be in Nigeria and just like, you know, her seeing this world that she is a part of but never been a part of. The romance came secondary to everything. I just like didn't care for it at all. But it was just more about this woman, and I really enjoyed that. And I give it again 4 out of 5 stars. Both of the books by Jane A. Harrow was solid. And then for the last book I read for the month, I read Sorrowland by Robert Solomon, which was the Face Against group book for February. And this one follows a young woman, Vern, and she goes into the forest and gives birth to twins. It starts off with her giving birth to twins, and it turns out that she has run away from basically this cult, and then she lives out in the forest for a few years, and then more stuff like develops. She's hunted, they want her back. It's a weird book. I have thoughts. Like, it's a weird book. There's stuff going on with Vern that I don't even know how to explain. And then, you know, living out in the forest, living alone, giving birth in the forest. I'm like, hello. There's just so many interesting parts about this book you could talk about. And I'm very excited for the live show discussion for this, for the book club. But just like overall the vibes, the story, original, amazing, the writing really good. So far, like a 4 out of 5 star rating. Will maybe change after live because that usually happens, but just like very good, very solid, and I don't know what else to say. So yeah, that's all the books I read for February. I used shorter time this time when talking about them, maybe because I've done it before, so I'm happy about that. And hopefully the sound in this is not broken, because then I will literally fling the camera in the wall. I said not aggressively at all. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and you will see me soon in a new one. Bye!